Decentraland MANA is starting to reach a point of make it or break it, a really pivotal point for Decentraland. Check this out, guys. We have a trend line, macro logarithmic trend line that has started way back in March 2020 at the COVID dump of the very biggest fear crypto has ever witnessed in March 2020. Okay, and we've had this uptrend for such a long time. We've had MANA literally go from 1.2 cents go approximately 500-600x to almost $6. Okay, but check this out, guys. We held it actually as support quite recently in December, January, and now look how close we are once again to this trend line here in June 2023. So today we're gonna discuss about the fundamentals of the metaverse in general in the world, okay, and how it actually affected the last time, the very craziness of the bull run of Decentraland, and how it can affect Decentraland once again, and technical analysis, price analysis for the short to midterm. So we're gonna start with the price analysis. Okay, so as we've mentioned, we've had a major trend line here that we're actually pretty close here of getting to it once again. Okay, and the really important thing, guys, is that we're not exceptionally bullish, and I mean, I would even say to the opposite. Okay, we're pretty bearish going into this fight. Now again, anything is possible, nobody knows for in the future what's gonna happen, but these are just the facts. Okay, so we're pretty close again to this trend line. Okay, the closest we've been since we actually held it as support, and MANA actually did here like a 2 to 3x. Okay, so let's check this out. First of all, we're on the weekly, on the macro time frame. Okay, we're gonna discuss weekly, daily, and monthly. Okay, so on the weekly, okay, we're actually you know, below many very important resistance levels. Okay, so we're actually still above the 50-week moving average, which is a major macro level. Okay, you can see that in the past we were rejected here in the past bear market of 2018 and 19. We've had a sort of a fake out above it and then collapse, and then finally we held all of that as support. You see there was even a wick here before we kind of flew all the way here and made approximately a 3 to 4x in just 1 week. Okay, so as you can see, we held all of that as support. We kind of established multiple weeks in the past above the 50-week, and then literally we've had a major bull run all the way above the 50-week moving average from approximately 4 cents to the highs of $6. Okay, this is how significant the 50-week moving average was for MANA, Decentraland. Okay, now as you can see, once we finally broke below it, and actually this was 2 weeks before the Terra Luna collapse. Okay, this was in the Terra Luna collapse, but you can see actually MANA got super bearish even here. Okay, so anyway, that being said, we got below it at $1.8 approximately, and ever since we were far below it, and recently we actually had a wick to the 50-week moving average. Okay, so we're strongly below it, and you know, this chart is not bullish at all. Okay, so this is the 50-week. You saw how important it was, and right now we're below it. Next, guys, we have the 200 weekly moving average, which is relevant only to major coins that exist for a very long time. Okay, in crypto you don't have that many cryptocurrencies that have like 200 weekly moving average, but MANA is one. Okay, so because it's a relatively new coin, it's not as old as, you know, Ethereum or Bitcoin or XRP. This is why we started finally having a 200 weekly moving average still here in the bull run. Okay, September 2021, this is where it started, and as you can see, obviously we were in the bull run, so we were far above the 200 weekly moving average. Now you can see in the Terra Luna collapse, you can see this major wick down all the way, okay, to the 200 weekly moving average, but we held it as support and flew all the way back. So then in October, you can see we actually sort of grinded our way down below the 200 weekly moving average, and once we established ourselves below here, quite similarly to what happened here in June 2020, okay, so this is when MANA kind of got ready to collapse a lot more. Okay, like it collapsed more than a 2x in a pretty short amount of time. Okay, so most recently, guys, at the 200 weekly moving average, we've had MANA get to the 200 weekly moving average, and even actually faking a little bit above it for at the end of January, early February, but this was actually a fake out, okay? And recently we've had more and more weeks close below it, and you see we didn't even test it yet since approximately February 2023. Okay, so this is where we are. We're below these two macro major weekly moving averages, okay, and we're close to this trend line, as we know. Okay, now let's have a look also on the daily. You know, on sometimes in the shorter time frames we can have some relatively better bounces than what we can have on the weekly, okay? But even on the daily, guys, I just want to show you that currently we're below the 50-day and 200-day moving averages as well. So even on the daily time frames, we're still pretty bearish. Now, granted, you can see that these levels were also pretty important in the past, like you see, for example, here again in April 2022. But you see, you have like sort of longer fake outs, okay, below these levels, like here and here. So daily time frames, they're not as good as weekly, I would say, okay, especially for assets like Decentraland MANA. But again, I just wanted to show you that even on the daily, we're bearish, okay? Last one that we have to show on the technical analysis side of things about Decentraland MANA is the monthly, okay? Monthly is also exceptionally important because, you know, like when you zoom out, you see really the real picture, okay? So let's go to the Heikin Ashi candles, okay? And why I like Heikin Ashi candles, especially on long time frames like monthly, because you see it really shows you the major trend that you have, okay? Like, yes, sometimes you have some really short rallies, but generally, you know, it shows you the trend, okay? So in the past bear market, you know, you've had this major trend down. Then this was like possibly an equivalent time to mid 2023 right now again, mid 2019 when Bitcoin bounced from 3K to 14K, right? So we had a little bit of a few green candles, Heikin Ashi, but then, you know, the bear market continued. This is March 2020, and finally, you know, finally it started being more bullish and more bullish, okay? So as you can see, we've had a major uptrend to the upside, okay? And then once the last bear market started in 2022, this was the situation, okay? Look how many red Heikin Ashi candles in a row. Now, yes, we kind of had a little bit of a possibility of a reversal here, but as we discussed, once again, we weren't able to close above. And actually, I see right now that on the 50 monthly moving average, we also actually tested it as resistance and weren't able to get above, okay? So now we have a new trend down with red Heikin Ashi monthly candles, okay? And as we mentioned in the beginning of the video, we're very close to this pivotal level, okay? So again, nobody knows the future, but I just want to show you to whoever watches this video right now. So, and you know, so that you can prepare accordingly. So, all of that being said, okay, if we do go to the downside because of all of this macro bearish stuff, okay, and because we're kind of getting, again, pretty close here to break this super massive important trend line, okay, some major levels are gonna be, we'll round it up, okay, for simplicity. Major levels are gonna be 30 cents, 20 cents, and 10 cents, even 10 cents, okay? And let's explain, okay? First of all, you know, 30 cents is very important because, you know, we've recently had a low of 30 cents, right? So any recent low, well, I mean relatively recent, right, in December 2022. So any recent low is going to be exceptionally important, and probably there's still going to be a big fight here, okay? Because in this candles here in March 2021, when we've had like major NFT and gaming first actually mania that we've had, you know, we've had a lot of volume here, so we still have a lot of support in this region of 30 to 40 something cents. So, you know, for me personally, the first target is approximately the 30 cents region, okay? Because we've had, again, a lot of support here and resistance here in the past, okay? But if we break again this major trend line, we can even go further lower, especially depends on what's gonna happen with Bitcoin and Ethereum, okay? So if it goes even lower, okay, then the next two levels are 20 cents, as we said, and 10 cents. 20 cents, guys, we've also had a lot of volume, a little bit more in the beginning of 2021 here. Okay, that was also a pretty high volume here, January to, I would even say, February 2021. And you see it was also kind of a difficult resistance at the time. So, you know, I do expect all of this region between the 30 cents to 20 cents to not you know, kind of give up very easily. Okay, so 20 cents, you know, non-financial advice, but for me personally, I watch 20 cents as, I would say, the relatively most realistic maybe target if MANA does, you know, collapse here from this trend line. But then again, the last target that I have to discuss, guys, which I actually discussed in a similar video that I've made on Solana in the past, if you've seen it. So actually, the next target is actually the highs of August 2020. And I want to show actually a little pivot to Solana, okay? I've discussed this in the video when Solana was still here at 30 something dollars, okay? And I've shown, or actually even higher, even 40 something dollars, okay? And I discussed that Solana can actually get to approximately $5, the highs of August 2020. Okay, so for Solana, it was approximately $5, okay? And MANA in August 2020 was around 10 cents, okay? Now, what I did say also in the past video about Solana, I didn't say this is my best case scenario. Actually, in these videos, I said that I think maybe the most likely region will be between $13, $14 to $20. Okay, that's what I said in this past video about Solana, which I'm also gonna link in the description. But as you can see, Solana actually collapsed all the way to $8. So I mean, it didn't really reach $5, but it did collapse to 8. Okay, even more than my let's say most likely scenarios that I've had at the time for $10 and $20, okay? But it didn't reach 5. So I'm just showing you that because there is some similarity. Solana that also had a major bear market, okay? And it was possible that it will get to the highs of August 2020, but it didn't. So similarly with MANA, okay? Again, there is a lot of, as you guys know, there's a lot of front running, okay, happening in the markets and in crypto. And you know, for example, if you guys remember in the kind of depths of the bear market, you know, many people, once we dropped here and the FTX thing happened, many people were expecting, including myself, like, you know, a 12 or 13K Bitcoin, but you know, it got front run, right? There was front running on Bitcoin. Similarly to what we've shown on Solana, okay? The major levels were, as we said, $10 and $20, okay? And then 5. Now, there was again front running at the $8 level, and a lot of people bought and kind of held it strongly around $10, okay? So the same thing could happen with MANA. Again, nobody knows for sure. This is not financial advice, but as you guys understand, okay? Let's just say it's gonna be similar to Solana, right? So if this is the region of August 2020 highs, okay, and there's gonna be again a lot of front running, you know, maybe just for simplicity, maybe similarly to Bitcoin, right? Like 15K Bitcoin that we've had, maybe MANA will correct to approximately 15 cents, okay? So hopefully you understand my train of thought here. For me, 30 cents is a pretty likely target if we break below here, okay? And 20 cents is, I would say, the most likely, in my opinion, scenario. So 20 cents, I think, is still pretty likely for me personally, which I think MANA can definitely reach. But then 10 cents is a region that you know, it's possible, but I don't really expect. I'm definitely not gonna wait for 10 cents. Because in this region here, between these two yellow lines, okay, between the 10 to 20, I do expect if like MANA does correct like below 20 cents, I do expect a lot of front running starting to happen, and this could be, in my opinion, a really major bottom for MANA Decentraland if all of these scenarios play out, okay? Now, guys, I want to discuss, of course, the more bullish outcome. And what I want to also remind for anyone who watches this video is that, look, at the end of the day, crypto and everything, you know, all the markets and crypto, everything's gonna recover, okay? And MANA is already like, it's a large coin, you know what I mean? Like smaller coins in crypto, yes, they do collapse to like total zero and everything. But, you know, Decentraland is, I wouldn't say too big to fail, you know what I mean? But it is a really large coin, okay, that it will, I mean, maybe sometime in the future, of course, it can go to zero. But I mean, within the next cycle, okay, within the next one cycle or two, Decentraland is like super likely gonna, in my opinion, perform again. Okay, why? Because Metaverse is still a major narrative, okay, that is happening still in the general world, okay, and not only in crypto, okay. So recently we've had news about Apple that they want to launch a new mixed reality headset, which could be in this article they do say it could be a catalyst for metaverse cryptos such as Decentraland and Sandbox. And guys, I just want to remind you, like if you've been here in the last bull run, if you remember this particular part, okay, this super duper crazy candle, okay, that really made the majority of the gains here really in late October, this happened just because Mark Zuckerberg announced the Metaverse, okay, the Meta, and that Facebook is changing their name to Meta, okay, and lots of people started searching for Metaverse, I guess, in Google, Metaverse, and they started finding Decentraland, and it exploded in a major way, okay, so it is something that we have to remember very vividly, at least I remember, that as long as we keep having these narratives about metaverse and decentral, you know what I mean, metaverse and crypto, metaverse outside of crypto, and it is likely gonna be the future, you know, and you know, it's in extremely early stages still, this technology. So when something is super early, you know, like everything can pop. That's the point, okay? Like Mana, Sandbox, Blocktopia, smaller project, and many other things probably outside of crypto as well. When people don't understand what's up, everything can bump in a major way, just like it happened many times in crypto, just like it happened in the dot-com bubble, okay? But obviously, because once this technology will be massively adopted, then you'll have a few winners. And of course, by then it's very good to research and find these big winners that can do 1000x or more in the future. But again, remember, as long as this is not like an established technology, everything pumps together. So that is why I expect Mana and Sandbox, as we said, and some others to keep pumping in the next bull runs, okay? So with all of that being said, this is why if the price does reach like the region of, you know, between the 10 to 20 cents or 20 to 30 cents, or even the current prices, in my opinion, are not that bad. You know, in my opinion, kind of the lower we go, the better, right? Because like just getting back to the all-time high is going to be even more multiples, right? Like for example, from 20 cents to $4, that's a 20x, okay? So again, like, yeah, on one end you want the asset to show strength, but like in my opinion, this is what I would say. Like, remember, in the past bear market, okay, the main region for Mana was between 2 cents to really 10 cents, and yes, it had like some time here like between 10 to 20 cents, but you see it was short-lived, okay? Then like the majority of the bear market, you see, was here between like even actually not only 2 cents, even more, you know, 1 cent at this wick here, up to like 10 cents, right? And this is why it's such a major level, okay? It was resistance, and then finally it broke, you know. So and here we had again like a big spike in volume. So this is, as we said, like why we could have actually big support here as well. But bottom line, guys, like as long as when it comes to like what I'm discussing right now is the market structure of Mana and Decentraland. So as long as Mana really doesn't like go below 10 cents and stays there, I think Mana can perform super well in the next bull run. If it does like correct below it, and again, this is not something that I expect to happen, but anything is possible, then I'm gonna reconsider everything, because again, this is market structure wise, we're gonna get back to like the region of the past bear market. And if you've seen my other videos, especially when we talk about coins that exist for more than one cycle, I always look at coins, you know, like Matic, for example, is a very good example, or BNB, okay? Like they've had a region in the past cycle, and now they're in a far larger valuation, okay? So in the past they were like between 1 to 2 cents, now they're like 80 something, 90 cents, okay? BNB, another major example. You see the whole region here was like, let's say from $5 to 30, okay? Then we kind of had the explosion in the last bull market, and now we're still very established here with BNB at the 3 figures. Lastly, also Ethereum, like it had like multiple cycles, right? So it was sort of established in this region, like from like 50 cents Ethereum, right, up to like approximately $13-14. Then bam, like a major explosion. That was like the first major bull run of 2017. But then, you know, establishing here like at the 3 figures more or less for Ethereum, and now we're establishing ourselves at the 4 figures, okay? This is something that is growing, okay, in a major way, okay? Ethereum, Bitcoin, BNB and Matic are very good examples. So back to Mana, Decentraland. At the moment, you see, Mana is definitely one that is like much higher than when it was before, where it was before in 2020 and 2019. But market structure wise, just very important for me to share. If we go below 10 cents, then like I have to reconsider everything I told here in the video. But as long as we're above 10 cents, and also I would say another maybe pretty important thing, even though this is like a higher region, if we get to this region of like 15 to 20 cents, or below 20 cents, but for a very short amount of time, you know that it's just gonna be a wick, and then we'll establish ourselves at 20, 30, 40 cents for a much longer period of time. For me, market structure wise, this is gonna be awesome. And again, Decentraland MANA is gonna be, in my opinion, a fantastic and very interesting opportunity for the future. Yes, guys, so all of that being said, this was a Decentraland MANA video. Hope you guys found a really nice value, and hopefully this video helped you. So yeah, guys, have a fantastic week and a fantastic weekend ahead, and cheers as always.